So, good evening, everybody, and welcome to tonight's Tuesday Business Booster. We're excited to see so many of you and so many of your names on the screen. So, big thank you for you all making it here tonight. And we all know that curiosity kills the cat, right? So, when we tell you we have an announcement or there's a surprise coming, it's amazing what we can do with that. So, you'll be aware, as of the 1st of February, we started our Elevate incentive. Elevate is a leadership development weekend that will take place in June. And we're super excited for you to earn this, to be in attendance, but also working with people within your team and your group to see who you can bring with you or you can come with. So if we're planning an event like this, we don't do it alone. As wonderful and as Drew and I are, you definitely want smarter people in the room than us, right? Or else you'll all be asking for your money back. So with that in mind, we have some speakers to announce. Guest number 2, we're going to ask you to turn on your camera. And so our first speaker, and I'm sure some of you and her team will not be surprised, the very wonderful, the ever consistent bronze presidential Karen Dennis. For those of you that have been with us for some years, you'll remember our our national director trainings we did long ago. Well, this has been very much the inspiration for these. Karen has a passion for helping people, for empowering people and developing leaders. So when we kind of put in the call, and I'll use the word voluntold Karen, she didn't skip a beat and was so happy to come and help and set everybody up for success. Karen, how are you feeling? We're good?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, I'm very excited about this initiative. I think it's wonderful, Sinead.
Well, I think, we've been listening to what everybody's asked us for, and we feel that this is a step in the right direction. So we're super excited. And I'm telling you here now, I'm hoping that we're going to have a problem. I'm hoping that I'm going to be negotiating with the hotels because we're going to not have enough space. So that's a goal of mine. So, I want you to think about getting yourself there and who you can bring with you. Now, we did promise you some overseas guests, and they are standing by. Guest number 1, can you both come in, please? All the way from South Africa. It is 10 o'clock in the morning. This is Gold Presidential Directors Alet-Marie and Quentin Van Zyl. Winners of numerous awards, including Global Business Builders of the Year, and recently, on Saturday, they won a Leadership Development Award. They're passionate about what they do. They love Mannatech. They love how they can lift people up and help people, achieve their dreams. Alet-Marie and Quentin, we're super excited that you're here. Welcome, 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 welcome.
Welcome. Thank you very much. It's so wonderful.
We are so excited to join you for the Elevate event in June.
They didn't blink twice when we asked, I have to say. It was such a yes, 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 yes. And Ilse, stop smirking. Ilse, stop smirking. So they're also happen to have downline in our region. Jerry and Ilse are in their team. And I think Ilse was a little bit suspicious, but I put you off. I hope it worked. So we're going to hand over to Alet-Marie and Quentin. We've asked them tonight to share with us a bit about their story, how they came to Mannatech, why they came to Mannatech. Guys, can we ask you to take it away and to put these people at peace? I'll shut up.
Sinead, it's so wonderful. Thank you for that introduction. And sure, guys, it's really an honor and a privilege for us to be here and to come be your guests at your Elevate incentive. We are so looking forward to it. It's going to be so much fun. It's been on me and Alet-Marie's dream board quite a bit to go to Australia for quite some time, and it's such a big privilege to have this opportunity to go and to meet every one of you. We want to just applaud you and really give honor to you guys, to you leaders that's on this call, that's taking out the time, taking the effort, doing what needs to be done to build your business and to make your dreams come true and to create a better life for you. That's what Mannatech is about, and that's what it offered us, and that's what our 12-year journey has been about. Creating a better life out there for other people and just changing lives, not only physically, but also financially. And working with the mind, you have to change your mind. You have to work on yourself. I think that's the biggest thing that we need to focus on. To work on yourself. But let's get into it. We want to share a little bit about our story with you guys and how we started and how we got started and what our journey was about.
So I've got a little bit of a watery eye now. Because somebody is having a watery eye in the audience.
Ilse, Fanny, come on.
But yes, it was actually 12 years ago. We didn't even know that what we were praying for was about to enter our lives. And we literally didn't want to have anything to do with any network marketing organizations because we've just been burnt. Raise hands who've been burnt by a previous network marketing business. And
yes, sorry, I had to saying that network is just work. You only work and you don't get paid. That's what network stands for. That was my philosophy about network marketing.
Yeah, so when an optometrist in town gifted us some products because he saw our daughter was suffering, he didn't know us from a bar of soap. And he just opened his heart, went to his car, gave us a sample of Nutraveris, and I don't know who of you remember the energy drink back then, Ambrostart. We mixed it up, and within 15 minutes, she had energy. Now, she was diagnosed with so many different things, but the biggest problems we were struggling with is she didn't have energy. She couldn't concentrate. She was in therapy for 4 years already, speech therapy, occupational therapy, physiotherapy. She even had a biokineticist twice a week. And I mean, I was a goldsmith. I used to just work to get all the therapies paid. And then you know how far money goes. So by the end in South Africa, those therapies are very, very expensive. And by the end of the month, we literally didn't sometimes have money for food. So we came from a place where we couldn't afford the products. We were gifted this, and within 15 minutes, she had energy. And she was jumping off my lap. I was holding her because she was falling and hurting herself. And within 15 minutes, we had a different child. So her sleep improved, her mood improved. She couldn't even, after all those therapies, count to 3 or remember the primary colors. Now, I mean, if you had 4 years of therapy memorizing 1, 2, 3 and blue, green, red, blue, and yellow, I mean, everybody gets that. You like 2 or maybe like 18 months, and most people get that. Most children get that. But we had a very, very tough journey with her. And out of this journey and out of the results, we literally had a new baby girl in the house. So we started the products at 5.5. We literally saw things happening in her brain and in her body strength, in her sleep, in her energy, in her mood. I mean, the house literally just became a pleasant one. So from a lot of trauma, these products have saved our marriage, and continuously up to this day, I mean, it's 11.5 years now, up to this day, we never want her to be without products. And as soon as we saw what it did for her, I thought maybe I'll give hubby some. And we've got 2 kids, so you can't just give one, right? You have to give both kids. So we gave some to our son, and some of his skin issues became so much more pleasant.
And I must tell you, when the big game changer came into our relationship is when Alet-Marie started using Plus. She became a much better person, a much nicer person.
That's up. We love Plus. We love Plus. Yeah, Plus really, really changes our life. Yeah, for the better, and all 4 of us are on Plus daily, so we don't go without that. And I mean, you probably know this by now because I'm talking to the choir. But when things don't go as planned and your day is a little bit overwhelming, where do you go? You go to your bottle of Plus. So yeah, for the coffee lovers, you know, we also love our coffee. There was a time when, I think it was last year, when our coffee was discontinued here. And we literally, I think we bribed Ilse and Harry to send us some coffee.
That's it, yeah.
So that just kept us sane. But I mean, so thank you so much, Australia, New Zealand. You guys have been a lifesaver at a really, really desperate time. But yeah, that's a little bit about our story. We're looking to share so much more with you. And really, I think if you are on this call and if you are in love with Mannatech, you are here because you have a caring heart. You would love to change the world for everybody around you. And we admire that and we honor that. And that's what we want to come help you with.
Yeah, I just want to share a little bit from my side as a father and a husband's point of view. Yeah, it's just a little bit of because we're going to share so much more detail when we see you personally. But when Jessica was about 5, our little daughter, we moved to another town, to another city, and the company that I worked for got liquidated, and I was stuck in a decision: do I go work for somebody else or do I start my own business? So we decided I'm going to start my own business. So I was literally working 24/7 to get my business off the off the ground, and we were in such a bad state at that stage. Financially, we were in big debt. Physically, we were depleted. Me and Alet-Marie's marriage was in such a rocky place. I think if Mannatech did not cross our paths another 3 or 4 months, we would not have been together.
I just want to come in here. You ever heard the saying, "We were fat, sick, and nearly dead"?
That's it.
That was us.
Definitely. So yeah, we were sick of being sick and tired, but we did not know it because we were caught in a rat race. We were caught in our circumstances. We were caught in the day-to-day a struggle of just surviving, because that's what we were doing. We were just surviving. I remember that very first time when Jessica used the products, when that guy introduced us to it. I came that evening because when Alet-Marie saw the energy that Jessica got instantly, she said to that guy, "I want 2 of each. Whatever you put in that glass, I want 2 of each." Now, we did not have any credit cards at that stage. We tried to live a cash life because of all the debt that we had, and that we tried to get to change our lives, but we were battling. And when I got home that evening, and Alet-Marie told me, and I saw what's happening with Jessica, and I saw her and her brothers chasing each other around the house. I said to her, "What's going on here?" And she said, very excited, she bought this and this and this and this. And I said, "You did what? You spend money on what?" And I was really, really flabbergasted, because, we are battling to get food on the table, and now she's buying vitamins and minerals and I don't know what. At that stage, my belief was totally rock bottom. But we carried on, and Alet-Marie, luckily my wife is somebody that does very, very intensive research, and she realized that this products that she took was only it was so much watered down. It's not the strong stuff that we need to build her brain back. And then eventually we started buying Ambertos, and that's much more expensive. But when I saw the difference in my child's life, when I saw the difference in the quality of life, when I see she can walk again, when I saw that she can, she started talking better, she's starting remembering better, there's improvement, then we decided we're gonna give it our all. 1 month, I can remember, the budget was so tight. Me and Alet-Marie were sitting we were discussing, what are we going to do? Are we going to buy Ambertos?
Passionately discussing.
Who's had some Mannafights? Who's had some Mannafights? Raise your hands. Me and Alet-Marie had plenty Mannafights before, but it's so worth it. But we decided what we're going to do. Are we going to buy Ambertos, or are we going to buy food? After a while, we decided we're going to buy Ambertos. The food, we'll make a plan, because we can lose a little bit of body weight. But we survived, and we are not, every single day, we are thankful that we made that decision. Today, Jessica is a healthy, thriving, almost 17-year-old, my little girl. She'll always be my little girl. She's talking, she's having the life, she's reading, she can write, she's a normal girl. Everything that everybody said she will not be able to do, she does, and she overcame all that obstacles. And it's 100% just because of the Ambertos and of the products that started building a brain back. We're still working on it. It's still a work in progress. We will never ever stop. But at one stage, I felt completely like a failure when I couldn't provide for my family, when I couldn't care for my little daughter, when I can't even keep a good relationship with my wife. But through the self-development and through the books that we are reading and through the Mannatech is not only a health and wellness company, it's a lifestyle company. Because all the principles and stuff that we teach and that we learn, that's just being a good person. And that's what we give now. We give hope to people that there is more in life out there. We give hope that if you want to change your life, you can do it. And we've got the tools. We've got a company that can give every single thing, that's got everything in place. We just need to take it and we just need to believe it, that we are worth it and that we can do it. And yeah, that's when our life took off, and that's when me and Alet-Marie started working together, and we're just going stronger and stronger. So, but we're going to share lots more about our story and about our journey when we see you in person.
I love it. I absolutely love it. And I'm telling you now, I kind of might have had to wipe my eye too. It's interesting. We had a call on Saturday with the one and only Ray Robbins, and again, like the similarities, it comes back to the difference the product has made to us. You know, and I know there are people who just came in from the business from the beginning and got the benefit of the product, but it's amazing the stories and the similarities of just wanting to have something for your health, and it gives you so much more. It's an incredible story, and I can see the smiles and the nodding. And to be fair, we joke a lot in our office. If Drew comes in a mood, we say, "How many plus did you have today?" Not that happens often. And my own husband says to me, if I'm a little cranky, "Do you need more plus?" And it's kind of one of the jokes we make, but we wouldn't be without it, would we? We absolutely wouldn't be without it. And I'm going to ask, just because I'm curious and I don't know, at what point did the business light turn on for you guys? At one, but like you got success with the product, and what point did you think we could get our products paid for, maybe? Or
okay, so I really didn't know. So we started off as customers, and back then in South Africa, we got enrolled as associates because it was just cheaper to become an associate than to be a customer.
We all did the same. Yeah,
So we got started as associates, but I told that optometrist, "You don't ever talk to me about business. I'm not interested to tell anybody ever about these products." I was very, very assertive. And by about the second or the third visit, so we got products at his first visit after he gave us the sample and we saw the results. So by about the second and the third visit, but every time when he left, he said, "Remember, you could get your products for free."
Very important.
And that was the key phrase, because by month 3, we were hooked. The Ambritose and the Nutravirus was changing the person we saw in front of us. Just for instance, we used to struggle to get Jessica to bed between 3 and 4 hours to make her fall asleep. Now, I'm that mommy that gets into the bed and waits till the kids are fast asleep and then I get up, and but then he is asleep in front of the TV. So I definitely needed more plus, which we didn't know about budget. But yeah, so as soon the first week we started using Ambritose, we took the falling asleep part was changed from 3 to 4 hours down to about 5 to 10 minutes. And I could not remember, I could not believe what, I thought, okay, maybe she just played enough, her body is tired now, so it's a good night. And then the next night it happened again and again and again. And then I realized now we can actually have a marriage because, now we can be awake the same time. And in a working household, back then we were both self-employed, and it was tough. It was, being self-employed is hard work and you put in a lot of hours. So yeah, from about the third month, I realized we needed to get these products for free. So I messaged him on WhatsApp at the optometrist and said to him, "How can I get these products for free?" He said, "No, he'll come tell me." And when he walked into the house, I said, "You don't give me that network talk." But then he started drawing circles, and, coming from a network background, I realized that I hated what I was doing in the previous network. We were in the previous network 5 years. We didn't even make $1,000 in 5 years. So that's why Quentin believes networking is just working.
Good believe.
Did believe. Now he's sort of feeling a little bit different about it. But so yeah, I think somewhere between, that's when the penny dropped for me, somewhere between the 3rd month. And I was too in the dark. I was too new to sort of realize what was happening. But this was around about November, December 2013. And we had a manifest, I think, in the first weekend of May the next year, 2014, if I remember correctly. So by the end of January or February, this upline comes back to me. He says, "Oh, you just missed manifest." And I didn't even know there was a qualification. I missed it with something like 10 or 20 points or something like that. And I'm like, oh my goodness, if I knew there was an incentive, then I would have done something more. But luckily we were able to JP also helped, and kudos to JP because I must have given him grey hair. JP just held our hands through thick and thin, and he helped us then he said, okay, well, if you pay so much, he's willing to pay that much, because by that stage we were national or executive directors. And we went over to manifest, me alone with the upline, but the upline got lost somewhere. I didn't see him for the whole of manifest. So it was me alone in America. First time overseas. I didn't see JP anywhere. He was busy with his other groups. I felt like an orphan. And then I realized it's not much fun to go alone. You have to get your friends there. You have to get the people there that you love. And at Manifest, I realized this is bigger than I thought. So I realized from the stories and the bigness we saw at Manifest that I think a dream was born there, and I thought this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And back then I was even helping out Quentin in his at his work, because he had people leaving and he needed somebody to get onto the computer. Now, what I know about computers is very scary. So you can imagine what was happening. And then when I came back and I said to him, you know what, as an executive director, I'm earning round about the same that I'm earning, with you. And it just didn't make sense for me, spending from 8 to 6 or from 8 to 7 sometimes at a desk doing something I hate, because I literally hate doing anything on a computer.
So she fired me.
And doing the same thing, sending testimonies. Sitting comfortably at home. I had to fire my boss. so pretty soon we were, I was unemployable. But I think for Quentin, it took a while longer. I think Quentin actually just, he sort of realized roundabout where we went presidential, bronze presidential, roundabout that. And that was about 2 years later.
Yeah, well, I think from our side, when the business side really made sense, and we're basically on the business side, we're talking about the money side, because I always say money is not everything, but we all need money to go around and to do whatever we need to do. So the money is fairly important. I can remember Alet-Marie's first. Well, I must add it, if I was reflecting on everything now while she was talking, and I can remember when that optometrist came to us that day. I wasn't there actually in the meeting, but what Alet-Marie reflected to me that evening was, he wants me to sign up 15 people. Where am I going to get 15 people? That was with our very old compensation plan.
Go director. He said, well, if you could go director, you'll have your products for free. And
I think a very, very first paycheck a month or so later was I don't know what dollars it is, but it was 620 rand. You can convert it.
Maybe Ilse, if you can convert that for us, because I think you know best.
Okay, so for me to quickly finish my side of the money side. So we were driving somewhere, and Alet-Marie just received 600 and something rand, and she said to me, she's so excited. And I thought to myself, yo, 600 it's not a lot of money. She said, if I can make 600 rand, I can make 1,000 rand. And if I can make 1,000 rand, I can make 5,000 rand. Now that's, climbing the ranks. And so I said to her, listen, I'll support you. I'll look after the kids, but I'm not interested. I'm not going to meetings. I'm not doing anything. I'm really not interested in this network marketing thing. We've done that. We've tried it. Let's carry on. So Alet-Marie started pursuing the business, and I was daddy and mommy, looking after the kids and trying to make ends meet. But I saw my wife growing and growing and growing. And one day I was out doing a job somewhere, and she just WhatsApped me a paycheck, and it was something like 34,000 rand.
Yeah,
Yes.
I think.
34,000 rand.
How much is that? I saw Avalon translating very nicely as well. So I think it was 33,000 if I remember correctly.
In South African salaries, 33,000 rand is a big salary. That's quite a substantial
So
amount.
we've got different calculations for your rent. We've got 4,000 and we've got 6,000. So we'll sit in the middle and call it $5,500.
I think the bigger idea to understand is that was like 6 times the average monthly income of the average South African. So that was a substantial. That was like 6 people earning an income in this house.
So that was at that stage. That was that was one of the turning points for me to realize that this is not a Mickey Mouse, or this is not a mommy's club somewhere. This is actually a big business. And the other bigger turning point that also turned for me, that turned my head completely around, was when Alet-Marie was just go a couple of steps back, when she was earning about 5,000 rand a month. I said to her, well, what's 5,000 rand? That's not a lot of money. But here in South Africa, if you got 5,000 rand passively each month in your bank account that you don't have to go physically put time in for, that's like R1 million in the bank. That's if you got a house that you are renting out and that you are getting the rent from the guys that rent from you, but the house is paid off. You don't owe any money on the house still. So that's also that is when I thought this passive income, that's the way to go. You have to earn money while you're sleeping. Otherwise, you're going to work until the day you die. So for the business side, that was something very important that changed my mind. You have to earn money while you're sleeping. Otherwise, you're going to work the day until you die.
And I think we also have to give credit to JP, because he educated us in how do you go about making this a big business, a global business. And I can just say his efforts was very successful, I think, because we are only getting started, and currently our business is on every continent. So we have lovely friends all over the world, and yeah, so this was why this was so special for us to come to you. And I think it's a very, very long flight, so we'll probably take a lot of impact, because we still have impact.
They have the old impact, the old white impact that we all loved. Not Impact Plus, they still have the old one. Yeah, for those of us who've been around a while. And for those of you who don't know, JP Coster is their upline presidential. He's been in Australia multiple times. He's done some tours. He's been at our conference, and he's been an incredible friend to Australia, New Zealand, and Singapore. And dare we say it, we have a bit of a soft spot for him. Young guy, built an incredible business, twinkle in his eye, and a lot of fun, and just very, very passionate about it. So it's if you're fairly new and you don't know who JP is, that's who JP is. Just introducing JP, because most people I think know him, but some people would be newer and maybe have never met him. So a lot of fun, JP.
Thank you, Sinead. Yeah, so I think we're going to keep quiet because we've got loads more to tell you. But yeah, I think that the signal we've got for the first time in this whole season, we're getting rain on the farm. So for everybody who knows how important rain is to feed horses and sheep and and everything else, we're very grateful for the rain, but it does make it a little bit difficult to connect.
With every blessing, there's a trade-off, right? So absolutely.
Exactly.
And I can see a lot of people just hanging off every word. Your story is so inspiring, And I think what it does, and I think I can speak for everybody here, it reminds us what we love about it, why we're all here, really. You know, we have that love and the passion for the product. We know what it can do for us. We know what it's done for us, and we just want to go and share it. And I think the opportunity that comes along with it is incredible. And it's the whole package. Now, you're coming down, your flights are booked. We've got that
Yes.
done. What are you looking forward to when you come to Australia?
Maybe you guys can give us some suggestions, because I've been Googling the top 10 things to go and do in Sydney.
Hang out with Sinead and
Which
Andrew.
obviously includes a red bus, so don't give me that suggestion. But anything else you'd like to suggest? We love to hear from the locals, because we also know, you know, everywhere we traveled, where we got the best traveling experience, it was from locals giving us the inside info.
Yes, I think
Okay, darling Harbour Cruise.
yes. Well, the harbour's
Thank
stunning.
you.
And getting out on the harbour, even if you just get on a ferry, Sydney Harbour is spectacular. It really is. You know, every time our office is on one side of the harbour bridge, but just a little bit up the road, and I don't live
Oh,
far from it.
wow.
Walking over the harbour bridge, it brings me so much joy, because we have a beautiful city, and you know, we've got people from South Australia, we've got people here from Queensland, we've got people here from New Zealand. They'll all have their own insights. So again, if you think of any must things that Alet-Marie and Quinta need to make time for, drop them in the chat. I don't think we'll get them down to the Barossa for a glass of wine, so don't even try. Sorry, Polly. Maybe a bit too far. This event that we're doing, it's all about leadership development, growing yourself as a leader and helping you develop leaders. And in your business, how has that been important to you guys?
Sinead, I think that especially for me and Alet-Marie in our whole team, that is the most important thing that we need to go do. Yes, we do need our health. Yes, we do need finances. But leadership and growing yourself, that's a big passion for me and Alet-Marie. Last weekend we had our success summit, and we had our awards evening, and although me and Alet-Marie, and it's not about us anymore, long time it's not about us anymore, it's about our team, and to see them grow and to see them perform and to see them becoming their best self. I think that's the whole thing in this business, to drive you to becoming the best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Each and every one of us on this call are different. Each and every one of us has got different talents. Alet-Marie has got Alet-Marie's talent is, you know, is far more better of recruiting people. I don't know how to say that now, but she's got a better talent of recruiting people than what I've got. But I think I've got a little bit more
On the leadership side.
Inside on the leadership side, and on the reading people. That's a big thing also. You have to read your people. It doesn't help you talking them about M5M if they are totally not interested in M5M. All that they want to do, they want health for their spouse or their loved one, or they want a better life for them. So you have to read your prospect, and you have to decide what direction you want to take the conversation in. Yesterday we had some damages here, and I had an assessor out here on the farm, and he came to assess the damage, and the minute he spoke to me, I waited, and we always wait for our cue, and the minute he spoke to me about his challenge, that's when I kicked in, and I told him about our products, and I told him, you know, the story of what had changed in our lives and how to change, and immediately he was hooked. So growing yourself, working on yourself, the self-development. And I was talking about our awards evening. We were so privileged enough that numerous of our associates in our downline got awards. And that's the thing. That's what drives us, to see them becoming their best self. And that's what we want for each and every one of you on this call, to become the best version that you can possibly be. Because if you are the best version of yourself, everything is possible, and there is no obstacles big enough
to keep you away from your dream.
Yeah.
But I can remember, Sinead, I was executive director when JP first came here, and he said, book me some coffee dates. So we booked 17 coffee dates, 1 hour coffee dates in 2 days. JP had blisters on his fingers, and I still have photos to prove that. But while we were packing up, I think it was the second day, but it might have been the first day, we were heading down the elevator, and I was so excited because we just had all these ladies and men sitting down and hearing about Mannatech and the products and, meeting them where they're at. And I'm learning the ropes from the big guns. And he turned around, he said, Alet-Marie, if you ever want to go presidential, you got to read like your life depends upon it. And I got such a fright because he was so friendly the whole day, and now he's so strict. But I think that was a crucial turning point in our self-development, in our business. Sometimes we think we know enough to make this happen, and we don't. We're still learning. On Saturday, we ended up between the 2 sessions. We had to go dress for the evening session. We wear these beautiful gowns in the evening session because if you don't dress like $1 million, how are you going to make $1 million? Okay. So we liked the dressing up, and we were on our way, and we landed up in a traffic jam in Johannesburg. That's not fun. Okay. But then instead of moaning, we just put on something from Napoleon Hill about his 7 principles of, what's it, 17? I think it's Your Right to Be Rich, the 17 principles of wealth. So we just started working through that again. If you are forced to waste time on the good things. And that's what we also want to come share with you, because there are certain materials that will accelerate your journey.
That's it. And another thing that ties into this is commitment. Commitment is a big thing. Now, I want to tell you a little bit story about the commitment of me and Alet-Marie. Well, this story is actually about Alet-Marie. When she went to her very first manifest, she spoke about a little while ago. She went alone, first time overseas. She hasn't really got an upline. The uplines are busy with, and she's one of these small fishes. So it's, very strange in America. Her suitcase never ever made it to America. Her suitcase.
I think you remember that.
You remember that, I think, and Chris was still there. And I can remember, speaking to Alet-Marie every now and then, and she was crying to me about her suitcase. And I can remember, especially the 3rd or the 4th day, she hasn't got clothes, she hasn't got clean underwear, she hasn't got makeup.
My facial products. I haven't got anything to wash my face with.
So luckily there was wonderful other uplines and other Mannatech people that helped her.
And you probably know Catherine from the European office. Catherine literally borrowed me her white cargo pants. So I was wearing Catherine's pants the whole manifest.
I love
But
it.
the one thing that stood out to me is I just said to her, listen, just go and buy yourself some clothes. She said, no, she's not going to buy clothes. And Chris, and then she said to her, listen, let me just take you to go buy some clothes so that you can have clothes. She was washing every night. She was washing her underwear, and she was washing her shirts and washing her so that she could wear it again. Luckily, the one shirt was inside out. So one day she could wear it pink and the other day she could wear it purple. So she But she said to Chris, when Chris said to her, Alet-Marie, let me take you to go and buy some clothes. She said to me, Chris, there's only one manifest. I want to go hear what those people has to say. Clothes I can go buy every day, but I want to be at manifest.
I love it.
Commitment.
I'm sitting here listening to you, and Karen, I'd like you to unmute yourself, because I feel this is a partnership made in heaven, because Karen, for as long as I've known her, has been so driven by developing others, empowering others. You can enroll, hundreds and hundreds of people, but if it doesn't go beyond that, what's the point? I think, because it has to be more than that. And Karen, listening to them, I hear a lot of your voice coming through in how I've learned what you think and what you believe and what's driven your business and your success. Karen has been our business builder of the year numerous times. And when Karen started,
wow.
we didn't have internet so much. We didn't do things online. There was a lot of faxing. And Karen was famous for getting in her car and just driving around the country and doing meetings. Now, 17 coffee hours, that's a lot of coffee and a lot of caffeine. You'd have been bouncing off the wall. We probably have products for that too. Karen, thoughts? Because I know you're excited about this event. I know you really believe in what we're doing here.
It's a bit hard to talk because it's exactly what you say. Just hearing the things you've gone through takes me back, to how it was for me and all the things I've gone through too. I was a single mum and had 3 jobs and, worked and gave up one and then got bigger and gave up another. And when I got to executive, I gave up the 3rd one, which wasn't that much money, but it was a lot more than I was earning. So all your stories, I just can't wait for you to come, because even though I've had a level of success, I just want to learn from you too. I'm always wanting to learn more and to improve. And I'm just so excited that these guys on here are going to be there and we can really get Australia going again. And I'm not really up to talking after listening to you. I'm very overwhelmed and I'm very grateful. Yeah, I'm sorry, Sinead, I can't think.
No, this is what it's about. For me, we can talk till we're blue in the face. It's about how we make people feel.
Yeah.
And if you can make somebody see the belief in themselves, if you can help them with their health, if you can help them get their products paid for, but that belief, I've always said, the unsung hero in our business, what it does for personal growth. Now, for those of you that know me, I started as a customer service rep in 2009. I started going to the Sydney events. Some of it was because I hated getting a phone call and somebody would say, oh, Dr. Nugent was in town last night, or so-and-so was in town and it was terrific, and I didn't know what they talked about. And for me, as somebody that saw it on the corporate side, I felt, I have the opportunity to go to these events and to hear these speakers. And as corporate, you make that choice whether you take that learning and that knowledge on. And I've always felt I was always better for it. But that personal growth, Diana Hunter's on here, and she's probably the only one that remembers the first time I ever spoke to Mannatech in front of people. It was on the back end of a Dr. Fouts night. I was awful, and we all know I can talk underwater. But when it's stop nodding, Drew. You can be fired. But to me, I feel I can see the growth in me, and I see it in so many of you, and I think it's the unsung hero. And Alet-Marie, we've talked about books. We heard from Ray on Saturday. He talked about books. And one of the things, and Karen, I said to this to you last night, is it was clear to me after listening to Ray Robbins, Karen Dennis is always learning. And that's what I love hearing from Alet-Marie and Quinton, because there's always somebody that can tell you. And we've all, it's being open to it and not thinking, well, I'm up here now, I'm presidential, I'm good. Well, you're not. And I don't mean that in a bad way, but it's being open to it. And because when you learn, your team learn, and they see that you're still learning, it has that knock-on effect. And it's incredible. It's incredible. All right. I'm conscious of time.